Africa's only republic. It is a story of many chapters and moods, a story of people and the land that sustains them. It is also a story of American enterprise in the lush tropical jungles of West Africa. The story of Liberia is first the
Liberia,
story of
Africa,
land,
only
a segment of
republic,
land framed
1949.
by the immensity of the Earth's second largest continent. In 1822, a group of free American Negroes set out to colonize this land. It was not easy.
And you know what's something too? Wasn't it Lincoln that said, "I'm going to send you back to South America, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Africa"? And Frederick Douglass said, "You ain't sending us nowhere. We were always from America, you know." But they were able to send some of us back to other places. I remember, was it Wikipedia says that when Lincoln made that proposal, African societies would not allow it. Think about that.
In 1847, after a quarter century of struggle, sacrifice, and hardship, these colonizers and their children founded a new nation for free men. Its name, Liberia, means liberty. It did not take the colonizers long to discover that the land which they had chosen to settle was abundantly fertile. Plentiful sunlight and rainfall combine to create a climate that encourages growth. Food crops, timber, fibers, luscious fruits, and dense tropical vegetation. Another testament to the rich soil is the abundant floral growth. Bougainvillea, African moonflower, poinsettias, hibiscus, and a host of others. The story of Liberia is also a story of people, including 23 long-established tribes. Most of Liberia's tribespeople live in villages which are...
Doesn't that remind you of the images they show us of the huts or homes that were along the Mississippi River? You know, doesn't that look something like that? Or in South America, where they show us the way that the natives down there built their homes in these circular patterns, and then they built them, like in the middle, and then they had the a road that led up to uh, the chief of the town's um, hut.
are centers of community-owned farms. Self-sufficiency remains the keynote of tribal living, which is a way of life, as well as a means of livelihood. See, like this housewife pounding and winnowing rice are everyday occurrences. Rice is the basic grain of the Liberian diet. Most Liberians are farmers. Their pattern of living is shaped by the land.
And for some reason, every time I hear that, it always brings me back to the British and the Europeans that came to the Americas, and they wanted the Indians to show them where the gold was. The Indians didn't do that. They showed them where the corn was, because the corn to them, what the corn was the gold. And then, when Lex Will bringing out the whole thing about grain, the Indians took the grain and they the maize, and they went and got lost. It's the loss of the rest of the world, and for them that was their gold. You know, I mean, they knew what gold was, but that was more important than gold. That and water, right? But every time I hear that, I think about that, and I think about how the Mormons, what they said, the way to uh, was it to take the savage out of the Indian was to turn them into farmers. You know, and I was actually learning about, what was it, Cincinnati. I was learning about the name, the Cincinnati, Ohio. It's got its name from the Society of Cincinnati, and basically what was in Rome, you had a Republican, you had a Democrat emperors that were ruling at the same time at one point in time, right? And and because one was supposed to be, one would check the other one. Whenever one got too much power, the other one would uprise, and they would take that power away. So they try to make them even, but try to support both sides of the balance. The Democrats got what they wanted, the Republicans got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, not just a Republican Party that ruled over, or a Democrat Party that ruled for so many years. But there came this one point in time where they actually had to have a, what they call a Cincinnati, come in, and he took on both the Republican and Democrats, overthrew their leadership, stopped the wars that they had going amongst themselves, and then went back to the field and picked up his plow and got back to work. So George Washington was writing about this guy. I can't remember the man's name. I just remember his last name was Cincinnati, and George Washington thought, "This is my hero." He wanted to be just like him. Go fight the wars and then put down your sword and go work the farm. But yeah, he didn't go work the farm. What he did, he sat on the porch while he watched our people work his farms.
These farmers are planting cassava, whose starchy roots are to Liberians what potatoes are to us. The African oil palm, the most important crops in the world today, supplies fats and gravy for the native diet and provides a
But you know me, I like to watch these old time videos because they say stuff that you're not gonna hear brought up in today's society. So if you want to check it out, here it is. Here's the title. You know what I'm saying? Just check this out if you feel like it. I want to show you one other thing before I end this video, and it was this real quick.
All right, well, let's start our lecture today by talking about the Bantu migrations. Now, the word Bantu means people in many Bantu languages. And this refers to a group of about 500 African languages.
Because we see what I thought was interesting is just like Liberia, just like the Benin, just like the Congo and these areas, they're all right here, right? And then they branch out, or at least the Benin language branches out in the people, and they go into South Africa and stuff like that. And just I've been going over like the fight that took place. I've been learning about Mandela and stuff like that in South Africa. In India, they were claiming that the East Indian was brought to Africa, and when they were going through apartheid, the Africans were going through apartheid. The East Indian had to go through apartheid with him because he was dark skinned and stuff like that. And I've been learning about the exchange that the Africans have with India. So many Africans go to India for schooling and training. So many East Indians come to Africa, and they do this vice versa, so it uplifts and builds both, these groups of people in education. So I just thought it was something interesting. I won't make you watch this whole entire video or anything like that because he just basically explains a few things, but I want to get to a part where he brings up. Well, I'll play it.
And all the people whom speak it. There are about 90 million of these people in the world today who speak Bantu languages. And as you can see from our maps right up here, they cover most of sub-Saharan Africa. Now, when I say sub-Saharan Africa, that means Africa underneath the Sahara. Here's the Sahara Desert, and here would be sub-Saharan Africa. Now, the first Bantu speakers seem to have lived in a region which today is near Nigeria and Cameroon. We would kind of call this like the notch of Western Africa, located about right here. And these early Neolithic people were able to adapt yams, bananas, which may have, we don't know for sure, may have originated in Malaysia and made their way to Africa. So what we do know is that with the growing of bananas, yams, sweet potatoes, or camote, having this crop, what it allowed was, it allowed these African people to basically farm. And after the yams and bananas came in, also cereal crops like wheat came in from Samaria, Mesopotamia, Central Asia area through trade, because the Bantu people were trading with societies in Nubia, which if I look on the map, would be around this area, Nubia and Egypt, and came in through here, and the Bantus were trading with them, the Bantu people, and that allowed them to have yams, bananas, wheat, and they started domesticating animals, and these people were able to farm. And as we find out in history, the general pattern is...
Once again, the farming aspect. They arrive on this coast of Africa, and all of a sudden, they start to spread out. And the one thing they have in common is they farm, and farming overtakes gathering and hunters. And what do these people do over here from the Libya? They farm. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I'm just saying. And plus, they know how to work arts and metals and stuff like that. The Bantu people know how to work arts and metals. If you go back to the Libya video, they show that they knew how to work metals, to make axes and stuff like that. So they had their own blacksmith. So just piecing it together, I thought it was a really, some of this is interesting, And believe me, I'll get off of this stuff. I'll get off this kick, and I'll get into other stuff. I just, when I see it, it's just trying to put it out there while it's still on my mind. Anyways, it's NW Smith, and I'm out, everybody.